For me, it's a source of light. When I meet a person from an opponent camp and we find the humanity in both of us, and to do something, to create music, to create beauty, to share that with people, I feel that, this is the seed, for overcoming the masses, Arabs and Jews and Christians, that are just involved in the darkness. And for me, it's a great source of hope.
How does imagination benefit society? How does vision, how does communication, how does expressing who you are to another person benefit society? Art highlights ideas. It brings to the fore many perspectives. It shows our visions of what we want. I don't know of any society that doesn't have art. So the most essential question might be, imagine society without it.
The problem that we face in our world today isn't conflict. The problem we face is violence. It's how we address the conflict. We address the conflict thinking that in order for me to get what I need, I have to destroy the other or impair their ability to meet their goals. It's a real act of genius, the way that Yuval weaves together these three musics that otherwise wouldn't be brought into relationship. And it's a way of thinking about the relationship between these three religions and three communities that's completely different than what could be described if we used words only.
I came up with this thing called an intercultural residency series, and my vision of this would be that over a long period of time we have artists from all over the world, and they would come in their own voice. It would be a kind of an autobiography of what they brought, their histories, their culture, and there would always be this focus on social justice. From a fourth grader coming in and seeing someone on stage who they never knew about or only heard stories about do something beautifully in a powerful way and learn about in their social studies classroom something about the history of those people. And those people who at best were black and white caricatures begin to be colored out by their own hands, not just what we want them to be or what someone told us. Do I believe that will make a difference? Yes, I do believe it will make a difference. Can I prove it? No, but come on. What other option do we have? And there are forces at work in this country that would like us to not be inquisitive and not be curious and not meet these people face to face.
The song we just played for you, it's a love song from Iraq. Have you ever heard Iraqi music? No? But you heard a lot about Iraq in the news, but you never heard a song from Iraq. And now we're going to play for you a traditional Jewish song from the Middle East. And listen for what is similar and what is different. This is a song from the Jews of Yemen. This is the instrument that the guitar was originated from. And it came all the way from Central Asia, from Persia, through the Middle East to Spain, to Europe, and it became the guitar. The kanun is the harp of the Middle East. If she's really inspired and she feels like the wind and like water, she can create this effect. See what Jamie can do with one wood box.
Have you ever heard any music like this before at all?
No, it was really good.
The singer was great, the dancing was great.
How traveling and going to trade to other countries, how that made them hear other kinds of music.
It's hard to believe that they made this 500 years ago and then they can still do it now.
It has to do with an analogy that art gives. You take a shape of Beethoven's pieces, it has an exposition, a beginning where the stuff that's going to be in the piece is introduced to you. And in the development section, which is next, we push out of our comfortable home territory and we take those elements that we were shown in the beginning and we have conflict. And the conflict builds and we get farther and farther away from the home that we feel comfortable with in the beginning when everything was okay. The crisis mounts, it happens, and then with a shudder it returns to what we call the recap, which is like the beginning, but it's never going to be like the beginning again. It's changed because of this crisis, because of what we've been through. That analogy is of life. That's an individual's life, it's a culture's expanse, it's humanity. And how can it not move us? It's what we have. It's who we are.
To situate myself within music is hard. It's wonderful to see how music moves and music travels. I just learned recently that what I thought was a setting to a Jewish prayer song was a Sufi song. What I had been singing as Hallelujah, I discovered was Allahu. It blew me away to discover that. It was wonderful.
It's very popular in the Jewish community.
It's very popular in the Jewish community. Nobody knows in the Jewish community, but I plan to out this.
I think it was probably my first experience as a Muslim to have this glimpse of Sufism and chanting Allah next to Rabbi Lehman.
We are artists, and once we're on stage, it's really, regardless of all the prejudice, regardless of all the limitations, this is my world. No one can step in, and that's where we're able to be free as artists, as women artists, to sing as we will, to express ourselves.
You've all said next time they come, would you like to play something with us? And I'm like, I really got to practice. I've got to practice improvising. I have to practice letting go. I have to practice listening. I have to, okay, so what am I practicing? I'm practicing listening, learning, being open, wanting to hear the other person's truth, being humble. Shouldn't those be at the peace process too? Isn't there a way that we could enhance those tools? Shouldn't we aspire to them?
The ability to listen is something that you practice as an artist or when you're in an artistic project. The ability to imagine, the ability to bear witness, the ability to express yourself so that others can hear. All these are capacities that are central to the work of peace building and to reconciliation. And all of those capacities are nourished, can be nourished through engagement with the arts.
History and journalism and so-called facts is not truth at all, especially when dealing with the shattering experience of conflict and war. For me, I've discovered that the arts and culture and humanities provide much more truth in that sense.
You can't come out of that concert being like, well, you attacked me, my political dignity is, attacked. It's very hard for it not to lead to positive energy.
People went to plays, in ancient Greece, not because they wanted to learn the story. They already knew that Medea was going to murder her children. They went for they went for the spiritual revelation. They went for the transformative feeling that they had, that they could only get there.
You go to the concert, and there is a kind of knowledge about the ways in which cultures operate together, that operates over a much larger place of space and time, that needs to complement the other kind of knowledge about how peoples and societies interact that the pollsters and the political scientists were talking about.
One of the unique things about bringing artists to Brandeis is that we do have this inquiry going on here about arts and peace, and that there are things that we've learned and can share. There are ways that these two areas can really enhance each other.
The whole residency in itself creates dynamics that are potential sources of knowledge around campus and that are building on the themes that the university embraces.
The arts can be used to help people imagine a new future. So that which isn't yet possible to create in society, on the street, in the legislature, can be imagined in the safe space of an artistic production. I mean, that is something I think in a way we saw with Yuval Ron. These cultures that have been in conflict actually come together in a very powerful and beautiful way. And so perhaps stimulated people's imagination. What if these societies could actually live together?
I was in a conference all day going on for Middle East studies about Israel and the Palestinians and the future of negotiations between them. There were different lectures from policymakers and thinkers from the region.
It was such a nice thing to have after the conference, relaxing. I mean, after 1.5 days of arguing, of nearly losing hope, my God, this is so complicated. And then seeing them here, you know, the Palestinian girl, the Muslim girl, the Christian, the Armenian, the Jew, and they're all playing and everything is going fine.
It's a safe space to talk about those issues. It kind of combines the differences in a very beautiful way, and you feel you're invited.
After the political solution, you still have two people who've been living, kind of mistrusting each other for a while in the Middle East. And so at the social level, an event like this is definitely very effective.
This is what the country should be like. We are building fences instead of uniting each other. And I guess if it's not happening in reality, it's happening at least in music, which gives us hope.
I just thought the similarities would be able to unite us, and that's the sense of excitement I got when I realized, and that's what I wanted to bring to my parents and to my friends and to my family back in Syria. I really do try to be open-minded.
Do you know where that came from?
You know what? I think it's actually from this school.
I think there are conversations that could be happening at Brandeis that may not be able to happen anywhere else in the world, because there are people from such a broad spectrum, and because we have the skills in our community to actually facilitate difficult conversations.
We try to teach people this song, so we perform it in every concert, in Hebrew and in Arabic. And the song is called Zaman el-Salam, which means time for peace.
سلام يا حبيبة نفسه تهدي رحيبة كالبحر سلام يا حبيبة نفسه تهدي رحيبة.
I wish that I could do the same thing that they do at home in Israel. That I could just, ring somebody up on the phone, an Arab person. Say, come on, let's come over, let's jam, let's have a good time. Why don't I? Because it never occurred to me. And now it has. So I'll go back home and I'll do that.
We're going to have to imagine together something, and that'll take some kind of trust, and that's where this other language comes in, reminding us that we have that capacity, we have it. It's almost like a blessing, It's okay, the facts aren't going to help you all the way, but there is this other thing that might be able to help.
At this time, it seems really important for people, especially in the United States, to extend ourselves, to appreciate that which other cultures have to offer, and to learn about other cultures through their vibrancy, through their creativity, through a sense of wonder at the beauty that all these different cultures have created.